Benjamin Ryder, Cooperative Communications, and I'm speaking with Lino Ramirez with Calgary Scientific. So can you tell me about Calgary Scientific and what exactly that is?
So we are a software company based in Calgary. We were started in 2004, and originally we developed software for analysis of medical images. So doctors could access their images on the web, on web browsers, on mobile devices like the iPhone, the iPad, and now on Android devices. After the success we got in the medical field, we decided to use the platform that we developed to allow our own software to be used on mobile devices to bring it over to new verticals like oil and gas, CAD, or any kind of application that have a very interactive graphics, 3D graphics, and they want to access it remotely. That's what kind of people we're trying to reach now.
Okay, and so what makes up these graphics? I mean, what kind of data are you guys using?
In the medical area, we're using CT scans, MRIs. The patient comes to the office, the doctor prescribes, okay, let's do this kind of imaging. They go to the radiologist and they get an MRI scan. Where it is stored in the hospital PACS. PACS is the term for a database in the hospital where they store all the images. And now, with our solution, the doctor can see the scan wherever he is. Like one example I like to talk about is the one where you have a stroke doctor. A stroke is a very critical condition. If someone has a stroke, they have to be treated in a certain amount of time because time is brain in a stroke. So if you have a doctor, let's say Dr. Hill, he is in a hockey game for his son, and he's watching the hockey game, and the patient comes in and have a stroke, they do the imaging, and they need the expertise of that particular doctor to make a decision on how to treat it. And so they call Dr. Hill at the hockey game. He goes, brings his iPhone up, sees the images, and realizes, oh, well, this is this kind of a stroke, so this is the treatment you should do. And he tell that to the person on the other end of the phone and continues watching the game. So perfect timing.
And so then it just comes to the person who's using it. I mean, they don't actually have to be where it's at.
Exactly, that's the whole idea. Huh? You can be wherever you are. You can be at home. You can be in a hockey game. Wherever the specialist is, he's not constrained to having to go back to the clinic or to the hospital to make a diagnosis. He can do it right there and save lives.
I'm just thinking of doctors in a hockey game dealing with some serious situations, and they're like, hold on, it's halftime. You know? I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, you know, we've got the change in technology is really breaking down our traditions. I mean, when I thought, you know, traditionally when you think of a doctor, you think of, you know, white robe in a hospital. You don't think of them outside of that role. But now, I mean, you can be a doctor sitting at home and just dealing with stuff on your computer and telling people who aren't as qualified to make those decisions, but to go and do what you're recommending.
Yes.
And you're saying that your application helps with that.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and then, but now you're not just limited to the healthcare. I mean, you're breaking out. You're going out there and doing other stuff. So how else can this be applied?
It can be applied in any vertical where there are images, 3D images that are highly interactive, where you want to be able to play with the image, see what is in there, modify the view, and make a decision. For example, in oil and gas, where you have these geophysicists that have these huge reservoir models, and they want to work at home, and there's something they need to see right away. They can go open their web browser on their desktop, see the image, play with it, and tell back to the head office, this is what is happening, this is where the oil is, this is how much oil it is, and this is what we need to do. So you can be anywhere. You can think about engineering firms, where you have these CAD models, and you want to make a decision right away. You can just go see your model on your iPad and call back to the office or wherever it is in the plan and tell them, oh, this is what the steps that we need to be taking. And
so how large is Calgary Scientific? I mean, how many people you got working for you?
We have about 100 people, and from those, 80-something, 84 or 5 are here in Calgary.
That's a pretty large company. I mean, you know, it's not IBM, but you know, it's significant.
Yes.
So, how much of your time is spent to research and development?
We have a research and development team, but we are trying to ingrain research into what we do day to day. So it's more. Before we were in an approach where we had a model where we have a separate team. Now we have research embedded into our operations. So we decide to work in different projects, and they're handled by product managers who decide what areas to focus on and how to move the research forward, in the sense that we help the organization to achieve certain goals, and we create a product that will, at the end of the day, have an impact for our users and our customers.
And so what's it like managing a bunch of scientists? I mean, you got all these intellectual people, really good ideas. What's that like?
It's challenging, and the first step is always to create the right team. So you have to have the right chemistry in the team, and you have to find skill sets that are complementary. So you have to find people that have certain skills, like some of them will be better at certain technology, and some will know about another technology. Maybe some of them will be really good at math, and some other analytic skills. So you have to bring them together, and you need a person who can communicate with them and with the business side of the organization, so you can kind of translate the business problem and frame it in such a way that the team will make sense of it, would create a solution and bring the solution back as something that can be used and be productive for the organization.
Cool. Well, I want to thank you for the interview. Calgary Scientific sounds like an amazing organization. Is there anything else that you're working on, that's coming out of the woodworks that we should keep our eyes out for?
Well, we're working on some solutions that allow easier collaboration. So something I didn't mention is that our solution is not only limited to one person. You can have many people working on the same image at the same time. So you can have experts located in different geographies seeing the same image, working with that at the same time. So what we're doing now is two things. One thing is to start to put together a way to facilitate the initiation of that collaboration, so it doesn't disrupt the workflow of the doctors or the engineers. So that's something that is coming, and it's coming really soon.
And before we go, talk about this conference and why this conference is important for companies like Calgary Scientific.
It's really important for us in the sense that we are gathering a large amount of data. We have access to the PACS, to the medical images. And I'm going to talk about medical because that's the area we have more expertise in. And now we want to also bring the analytics part. So now you have the data, you have information, we have access to the electronic health records. So we want to use what we are learning here at this conference, all the analytics, bringing it together into something that will really help people improve their quality of lives and will help doctors make better decisions.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful interview, and we're going to cut to break, and when we return.
Join the conversation next year as more cities become data-driven. Become a community partner. Contact us at info@abctech.ca.